I'd want to start by referring to an article that was written by Dr. Clifford Bertrand, and the article goes on to say the newly elected president, or presidents now in federations like ours, the president must be experienced, demonstrated leadership, meeting the needs of athletes, spectators, sponsors, marketing the sport, logistic planning, empowering people, local and global thinking relationships. Also, it goes on to say that you must have knowledge of the IWF rules, regulations, and with that said, knowing the full calendar that you have going into 2013 with the Crifter Games and the IWF inaugural World Relays 2014 and 2015. Preface of what I just mentioned with regards to the article. Talk about your task ahead.
Well, first of all, I'm very excited. I want to congratulate the new executive body. It's a very young, vibrant team, and I feel privileged to be able to lead them at this time. And I'm very, very excited about the prospect of being the elder statesman, so to speak, to a group of fine young persons that I know will make a meaningful contribution to the sport. And it's going to be a learning curve, but I'm humbled to know that I'm going to be able to, walk them through that process.
The article also goes on to say that with a country like ours, that where the sport is really advancing rapidly, it talks about some of the things that the normal trial and error stuff. It says struggles to raise revenues and curb spending. Talk a little bit about that for us.
Well, we have planned. My side had a plan. The United and Focus side had a plan, and it's interesting now. We have like more or less like some form of coalition that I think is going to work extremely well, and we're gonna work together. Our first meeting is going to be tomorrow, so we're going to sit and we're going to start and we're going to look at what needs to be done and mesh the ideas, because now we are one. We are now United and Focus. Not part of the United and Focus team, and they're part of the visionary team, and so we're going to put those pieces together and mix the ingredients and ensure we come out. We cannot afford to miss any steps because time is very short. The LOC has been working assiduously to move the Grifter organization forward, and we now have a lot more work to do. As I said, there's no intentions to slowing down. As a matter of fact, quite the contrary, we're going to be moving fast forward.
Now, one of the things that also it says with the growing sport, track and field sport like we have, it says some of the struggles are counterproductive and non-productive thinkers. Um, uh, do you think we fall in that category?
There will always be criticism. Then we always have our strengths and weaknesses, and so there'll be some level of truth to any statement that is made. It depends on to the extent to which you want to dwell on the negative side of it. My intent, and certainly I'm sure those of the new executive, is to stay focused. The slogan calls for such, and to stay focused. And there's a saying that we show them better than we can tell them.
Now that we get ready to talk about, now we get ready to take on Carifta for 2013, also the World Relays. One of the things that mentioned also that we may struggle in, the areas that we will struggle in, is access to competitive track and field competitions abroad. And by us being away from all of the competition, talk about that for us.
I'm not sure that I fully understand the concept to which they're trying to refer that to, because at the end of the day, our intent is to ensure that the athletes, all competitions are available, regional competitions, and so we will make available opportunities for athletes to compete. Fortunately for our system, a number of our top athletes are in university, and so therefore their competition is ongoing, and so I'm not quite sure how that is negatively going to impact our plans, because we will, do what is necessary. The athletes at other college, there's professional athletes, a lot of them on the circuit, and so I'm not concerned about, competition, available competition for us at all.
You also talk about the combination of the visionary team, United and Focus team. How do you feel about the mesh of the newly elected executives now?
As I said earlier, there were some casualties, and I am humbled, by the confidence that was shown to elect me, and I'm extremely excited about the prospect of working together with a lot of new ideas, and to see how far we can take this, because at the end of the day, the organization is bigger than any of us, and I'm extremely, extremely excited to know that we will be able to put a whole lot of new, fresh ideas, because looking at the platform that was produced by the United and Focus team, while there are a lot of similarities, there are some issues in there that we definitely can embellish upon, and have a working document that is going to be, a very progressive document over the next 3 years.
Now, I also noticed as part of your executives, you made up of a couple number of legend, also elite Olympians. Yourself, Iram Lewis is now your first vice president, an Olympian. You also have Carl Oliver, an Olympian. You also have
Miss Philip Barnett.
Tony Darling
Tony
Williams,
Williams,
yes,
darling.
as an Olympian and champion, and again Philippa Arnett. Talk about the mix of having five Olympians as part of your executives.
You know, when I look around the region at my counterparts and my colleagues, I think we may have a first there. And it's going to make very interesting because, as I said, they're going to come in with the prospect from the athletic side of it. We've all been there. You know, I'm going to be able to bring to the table with them the vision of the administration side of it. I'm going to be happy to take them along wherever I go. You know, wherever it's necessary for administration purposes, to be able to introduce them to the administrators of the region so that the learning curve does not take as long as may not be necessary if you're just on the outside, because there will be some strong familiarities where if you introduce them to persons, there will be familiarity with names, and also the synergy that we'll be able to develop, because I've often said that the sport of track and field is beyond borders, and I think that article kind of speaks to that when I saw it this morning, and it speaks exactly what I'm talking about. And so it's about, you know, domestically improving the program, but it's also developing relationships and networking regionally and as well as worldwide.
Now, if I was to ask you to give me your, say, your top three, top five must jump on the ball rolling with right now within your executive, what would they be?
Funding. I want to ensure that we have that healing process, and we must have a look at, looking at the Constitution to avoid any ambiguities that exist in the Constitution. And so those are some things that we have to look at. We have to also, you know, we have been meeting with the Sports Authority. We're trying to get a definitive position as with respect to CRIFTA, and CRIFTA has to be obviously priority one because it's a few months away, and we're still in a position of abeyance, so to speak, because we're not getting a definitive position from the government what we will be doing with CRIFTA. As you will know, because you're getting communications as well, we're getting daily communications from member federations as to the status, and a decision needs to be made very soon. You know, what is going to happen.
Now, whenever you're going into an election, there's always you talked about the healing process. Um, if you had an opportunity to speak to everybody that has the best interest of track and field and that you know that can make a difference, if you used to look right in the camera, what would you say to them?
Let us come together. Let us make it work. Let us put aside our differences. You know, families have differences, but at the end of the day, you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You don't walk away from the problems. You try to find ways to solve the problems so that we can work together collectively and united.
Congratulations.
Thank you.